Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a tiny puppy in my lap and she's just chilling because she's so sleepy after she's been a menace all day. However, today I'm doing a tattoo tour and I'm going to break down everything about my tattoos. I now have 8 tattoos, which for a lot of people is not a lot. However, I have committed to the bit and I have a lot of bigger pieces. I have 4 full color pieces, and then the other 4 are smaller, just kind of line work or script. However, I wanted to talk about them today and give you guys a little bit of insight on my personal experience as somebody who is chronically ill and also somebody who doesn't have a super high pain tolerance. Talk placement, talk would I get that place done again, cost, and all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in these kind of things, hang out and I will tell you about them. So first and foremost, tattoos are not a comfortable experience. Some people say they hurt, some people say they don't. I am a firm believer that it's all about placement, how, psyched out about it you are, and also your personal pain tolerance. Now, my last tattoo is definitely my biggest one, and I would say that that was my most painful out of all of them, if we're talking like actual pain and not discomfort. So I have like my arms, I have my thigh, I have my ankle, I have my spine, I have my ribs. I would say the highest level of just pure discomfort that I felt was on my ribs, where pain-wise was my thigh. So, and most of my tattoos are done by different artists. So I'll kind of, when we talk about them, I'll go into that. But pain and discomfort, it honestly feels like a cat scratch when it is happening. Line work, I would say, when it is a very thin kind of single needle situation, that is the most uncomfortable part for me, because you really feel the drag of the needle going across your skin. Now for me, the line work, I know once I get through it, I can handle the rest of it fine. Color and shading do not bother me at all. Even with the one on my thigh being the most painful, the shading, my artist is very fast, but the shading, he could have shaded my whole leg in and I was comfortable and fine. So just take that into account when you're deciding on style. If it's something that has a lot of shading and you have a low pain tolerance, you may be okay. But if you're someone who has a really low pain tolerance and you want a lot of intricate line work that's going to take somebody a long time to complete, then you may want to reconsider your decision. Also, I would say color is not bad. That's more placement for me personally. Like the one that's on my forearm, the color really did not hurt until we were in like spots where the skin's really thin. So like down here on my wrist and up into my elbow ditch. Those ones definitely hurt a lot more. But I think a big part of your pain levels and stuff, like I said, is how psyched out you are about it. If you listen to people who tell you it's gonna hurt so bad, it's gonna hurt so bad, and you go in thinking, oh my god, this is gonna be the most painful experience of my life, then you're probably not going to have a good time. I personally really research my artists and my shops, and I recommend everybody do that. Look at reviews, look at their social media, look at people who work there, or even people who used to work there. If they're still shouting out their shop and saying like, go to them for this kind of thing, that's a pretty good indicator that they left on good terms. If they've kind of denounced their other shop, you may want to look into why. There's been a lot of tattoo community drama in my area lately for 100% valid reasons, may I add. So people have been like calling out different shops or like letting people know about certain shops. So that's been a whole thing. However, research your artists, there is nothing wrong with messaging an artist and getting a general idea of if they're even interested in doing your piece. Like for me, I really wanted to make sure that whoever was doing my pieces was very excited about doing them, because I'm very excited about getting them, and they're going to be on your body forever. Yes, you can get a cover up done, but it's super expensive, and something like this to cover up is so much harder than like one of my smaller ones. Let's talk the actual tattoos themselves. My first one, I will have to insert like a picture of. I haven't taken a picture of it in a while, so I really don't know what it looks like anymore, because it is script right down my back. Now, the artist who did the script down my back, I don't know where she's tattooing out of. I don't know if she's still tattooing at all. And I know like my one friend went to her and had a really hard time getting in contact with her, so I don't know that she's really tattooing anymore. But she did my script when she was just an apprentice. It time-wise took about 45 minutes, and that's from like placing the stencil and making sure it was really straight, choosing my font, and like picking my colors, because I didn't want my script to be in black. I wanted it to be in blue, so she gave me a couple options of which shade of blue I wanted. And that was my very first one. Do I recommend getting your spine done as your very first tattoo? Not necessarily. However, it is one of the more uncomfortable places to get done. So if you're someone who's worried about the pain, but you really, really, really want something going down your spine, I would say go for it, and see how you feel about it. And if that hurts really bad and you don't want to feel that ever again, then you don't get another tattoo. But in terms of it being my first one, yes, it was a very foreign feeling. And within the first 10 minutes, my body kind of went into shock. Like, it got very hot. And we took a break. I had a water, and she explained to me that basically when you get your first tattoo done, it's such a different feeling. Your body responds the same way that if you were in like a major car accident, that it starts checking like your vitals, like your nervous system starts doing it. Like, do we need to send blood somewhere? Do we need to, like, your blood pressure kind of raises, all of those things, because you are experiencing pain. So that was my first one, and I think that one cost me, I know the shop minimum was $40, and because I got color, it was a little more expensive. I think I paid $80 for the full thing, and that was including tip. After that, I got the bat done on my shoulder at a flash event. That was at Grit and Glory in New York City. I went to prove a point to my friend that tattoos really aren't that bad, and I really wanted to go to the shop because at the time Nikki Simpson was tattooing out of there, and I love her work. So getting to watch her work throughout the day was super cool. And I really like Megan Massacre. She was there tattooing, and I almost had her do my tattoo, but the girl ahead of me got her, and I was so disappointed. So my little bat was just one I picked from the flash sheet, and I thought I could build off of with time. Babiery was the guy who did it. I want to say he's been on Ink Master or something. He was on one of the shows, and he did it for me. Super nice. Didn't really hurt at all. I would say just the very tips of the bat, because it's going up more towards like the bone and like coming up into like my clavicle area. Those hurt a little bit, but once he was done with that, it was fine. And that was my first experience with someone shading and doing color, like filling something in. And I did that one, and I was like, yeah, I can handle this. So the bat was $100, and then I ended up tipping him $20. And I bought stuff from like their little shop out front. So I think it was $120 was the total, but again, it was $100 for whatever you got that day, color or no color, and I got color. So after that, I got the Neverland stars on the back of my neck. Again, this was a flash event. It was a Black Friday flash event. I think I paid $25 for it total. They did like a $10, like if it was a quarter, it was $10. If it was this like palm size, it was $30, and then like it just depended on the size. So if you're somebody who doesn't really care what you get, or you want like angel numbers or something really small, usually those end up on a flash sheet for a flash event at a tattoo studio. You can go get that done for really cheap, and then you're not out of a bunch of money, and you have a decent small tattoo, and you have a gauge on, do I really like this or not? We've covered spine, shoulder, back of neck. Back of neck pain-wise was like a 3. Just the very tip of the 1 star, because it's up closer to the base of my skull, that didn't feel great, but it was 4 seconds. And the same person who did the script on my back did my neck. So next one, where are we at? 3. My fourth one, I took like a lot of time off. What was my fourth one? I can't remember if it was my ribs or my forearm. So I got my ribs done with my mom on the same day. I think mine was about 120. Honestly, I won't say the name of the shop just because I feel like they really overcharged me for it. I don't think they were super excited to do the piece because we were a walk-in. And it's just a little line work. I don't know what their shop minimum is there. I want to say it's 100, so really it's not that bad. But I got no color. It's just line work, as you can see. And so I felt like it was a little bit expensive. So that's something you need to look at too, is like your budget, what you're comfortable with paying. But also, it's not a bad idea to shop around and kind of ask what shop minimums are, or what artist minimums are if the shop doesn't have one, just so you can get an idea of what you're paying for and what you are comfortable with. Because this one took about 20 minutes, and this, I would say, was my most uncomfortable spot, not only because you're kind of laying very like stretched like that, but the vibration was going up my body, obviously, and it was actually vibrating the metal plate that I have in my face. So that made me really uncomfortable and just not like, it was, usually I enjoy getting tattooed. That was my least enjoyable. Also, I just wasn't super comfortable in the shop, to be honest. It was very, like, there were a lot of people in there getting tattooed at one time, which is fine. It's great that they're busy. They're a good shop. They win a lot of awards in our area. However, I just didn't feel like they really wanted to do it or were, like, interested in it. Like, I like to talk when I'm getting tattooed, and we talked a little bit, but I like to kind of distract myself and kind of talk through the pain, and that was like not an option there. So my next one was my Medusa, which you guys can kind of see, but I'll add pictures so you can see like the full effect. This is obviously full color. This was 3 sessions. This was my first multi-session tattoo, and at the time was my biggest tattoo. The artist who did it, her name is Leslie, and she's great. She's super talented. And was very excited about this. I sent her pictures and told her, you know, you can change it however you need to make it tattooable, because not every picture can be thrown on skin and look the same. I was like, make it however you want, but I don't want flowers. I want succulents, and I want some like unique colors for the snakes. So when we went in, we really talked about all the color, and she did all my outline stuff first and told me, look, your skin is really sensitive. I think we should stop for the day. And it was about 2 hours, and she was like, I think we should just take a break, let your skin, you know, calm down, and then you can come back and I'll have a better idea of what I want to do for the color, because she really wanted to take time to like match some different things up and try some new colors that she had gotten before she put them on my skin. And I really appreciated that level of care and like thought put into the piece, because she has a lot of clients. But she really wanted to make sure it was something that I liked and wanted on me forever. And she loves succulents too, so we were super excited to do that. So she did like traditional colors on the succulents, like the green and purple, and like the little reds and stuff. And there's some blue in the bottom ones, but the snakes, we definitely did some different colors. She did a lot of like whites, and we made my Medusa look very like glamorous, because I was like, I do makeup and stuff. So she was like, oh, I'm gonna give her good eyebrows and we'll contour with these purples and stuff. And I get so many compliments on it. Now my next one, after I got this one, and this was a 3 session one, because after we did the color, I came, it was like 2.5 hours of color, and then I went back in for one more like small half-hour session just to get some highlights done, and any touch-ups that I needed she did for me. So once we were all done with that, it was around, I want to say it was like $8.50 for this one, and that included tip, because she's $150 an hour. And my next one is my anatomical heart that is back here, which I think probably has the most color. But Braden, who I mentioned at the beginning, did this one for me. This tattoo I've gotten the most amount of compliments on, I think, because it is so intricate. I got this done in January and it still looks so good. It's hard to tell sideways, but if you look at it this way, it's an anatomical heart made out of sea creatures and corals. I wanted something saltwater related because of me having POTS. I have to drink a lot of salt, or I have to drink a lot of water and eat a lot of salt. So we wanted to do something saltwater and heart related. So we did this. I sent him 2 pictures. I said, I want this kind of thing with this kind of color palette. And he was like, I got you. 3 hours it took him to do whole thing top to bottom. Like in and out, stencil to final wipe, 3 hours. Insane that he did this in 3 hours. Shading, color, everything. So I was just amazed by that. And I think I won a gift card from him. That's like how I did it, is I entered a giveaway and I won an aftercare kit and a gift card. And I think I ended up paying $3.50 for this, including the gift card. So not bad, about $100 an hour. And that was with tip too. So really could not have asked for a better turnout of it. I love that if you look real close, let me get my arm up here so you can see. I might have to waddle forward. The octopus turns into like one of the ventricles. So cool. I love it. And my last one is, oh, I skipped one. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to skip one because I always forget that I even have this tattoo, even though I see it every day. I got this little line work, Great Dane, done by Hunter. And he, again, I'll leave his information shop down there. He is one of my cousin's best friends since childhood. And he started tattooing and we were like, of course, we're going to come support you. So I sent him what I wanted and he did it for me in like 10 minutes. Like, it's such a tiny little line work. Very, very, like, no pain at all. This spot, like down by the ankle, is not bad at all. He did it just above the bone so that wouldn't be painful, but it took him no time at all to do it. And he's done so many bigger pieces now. But I think he charged me like $10 for it because it was like the referral friends whatever discount. Now he's definitely not charging that now, and I paid him more than $10. He wanted to charge me $10. I think I gave him $50. Also for this one, absolutely no pain. And discomfort wise, it was more so the position I was laying in was more uncomfortable than the actual tattoo. This one, again, just like stingy because my skin's sensitive, but right here was a little tender, this head of this snake, and then just the very points of those 2 succulents on my wrist, but those are very thin skin. Everything else I was chit-chatting through. We were talking about all different kinds of things, talking to other artists, not a problem. So my 8th one and my most current one is my Headless Horseman that Braden did, that I'm obsessed with. We're doing a whole vintage horror piece on this leg. This, I thought I was going to be at the shop for like 6 hours. He was done in under 4, like stencil, including the couple breaks I took. This one, the line work hurt the most, only because, and again, it was bearable, but only because of where it's at. That hip thigh region, kind of up top there, is very tender. And so when you're getting a needle put in there multiple times, it hurts a bit. So after he finished the initial line work, we took a break and then he did all the shading and then we picked out colors. But I gave him pretty much free reign. I just sent, here's some colors that I like, and here is like the general idea and what I'm looking to do in the future. And he's super excited about it. So we're working on this piece. We were already planning on like what I'm going to get done next. I just have to decide. This piece, he charged me, I gave him $5.50 because I tipped him, but he said $500 and then I gave him a $50 tip. This whole piece honestly has been like the longest I've sat. 3 hours and 40 minutes, I think is what my timer said, because I did time him because he was so quick with this one. I wanted to see how fast he would do this one. And this, my Headless Horseman is bigger than this, and it still took around the same amount of time. But the colors and shading and everything that he did fit so well, and he captured what I was looking for perfectly. Even me giving him like pretty much creative, like free reign, he still captured exactly what I wanted, and that was the coolest feeling ever. Also, his shop is super comfortable. The way it's set up is really nice. So again, all the information for my artist will be down below. The positive experiences I have, I'll leave down below. Yeah, $5.50 for this one. And honestly, healing it has been like so different for me because it's a high rub area, so like it's been really itchy and stuff. Speaking of healing, I have done 2 different methods with healing my tattoos. Every artist is going to give you their own aftercare instructions, or they should. If they don't, ask for them specifically, because you need to know what they want you to do, because that's what's going to go best with their work. I have used both like second skin products that kind of lay on top, you leave it on for 3 days and then take it off things. I like those the best because they are no hassle. We used second skin on this one, we used it on this one, we used it on my leg, I used it on my bat, and my other and I think the only ones that second skin wasn't on were my ribs and my spine. The reason we didn't use it on my spine is because I don't think it existed yet, and the one on my ribs, I don't know why we didn't use it. I just don't think the artist particularly liked it, and it's just a line work, so I didn't really need it. So yeah, second skin is just like a sticky saran wrap basically that covers your tattoo, seals it, but it keeps in all the stuff that your body kind of exudes after. Kind of lets the skin reabsorb that plasma and the blood and everything, and it helps heal your tattoo faster. And after 3 days, you take it off and you wash it with antibacterial soap, and then you can just go into the like white lotion phase. I say white lotion, I'm talking like Lubriderm, like no scent, no you know, no glitter, none of that, just like a lotion. You put that on for like a week and then you're good to go. But some people really just like to go with antibacterial soap for 3 days, with Aquifer for 3 days, and then lotion after that. It's up to your artist and it's up to you. Some people have a really bad reaction to Sanoderm and second skin, so they don't like using it. I get that. Don't put yourself through any sort of irritation that could kind of ruin your tattoo. But I like it because it's just nice to know that it's gonna heal faster, less risk of infection, just less of a hassle for me personally. Like, I could go to work with it covered and not have to worry about anything getting in it or on it or having to wash it at work. My leg, we did have to do the dial soap Aquifer thing because someone named Athena, who's snoring over there, ripped a hole in my Sanoderm. So I had to take it off like the next morning and wash it and everything like that, but it still healed fine. I also used some different products this last time that were part of my aftercare kit that I had one before. There was like a soothing balm, which I really liked, and also like a tattoo stick to use instead of lotion. Either one, I would say they're pretty comparable in terms of how everything has healed. My biggest thing is like, you're supposed to keep your tattoo moisturized. Some people just let it dry out and flake and peel and do that. I mean, it's gonna do some of that regardless. However, I don't like mine getting super dried out and cracked. I think it's just uncomfortable, and I just don't think they heal as well that way. I'm also somebody that's very careful about the sun. I lather my tattoos in like SPF 50, even now still with them being healed, because I don't want them to fade. I paid a lot of money for them and I want them to look good for a very long time. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. If you have any questions about other tattoos, like what I plan to get, or you know, anything like that, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.